Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I have Stock Watch for the month of May 2021. So this is an infographic that we do every month, usually right towards the end of the month, talking about what we see about how the meta is evolving at a high level at the end game. And the goal here is not to just focus on what end game players should do, but to use what we see at the end game to help everybody, no matter where you're at in the game, whether you're a beginner, whether you're a mid-game player, or whether you're, working your way through DD4, wherever you're at in the game, the idea is to try to use what we know about how these characters work at high levels and what the meta looks like at the highest levels to know what characters to invest in. Because Scopely doesn't give us enough resources. They just purposely create bottlenecks. So the way to get ahead of that is to carefully conserve your resources and be very smart and thoughtful about your investments. So let's get right to it. This infographic is linked in the description, but I'm going to go through it now and give you the reasoning for what characters I have here and why. So trending up, clearly Gamora and Nebula. And here's the thing. Yes, I'm going to talk about the Infinity Watch team elsewhere in this video, but the point I want to make here is, even if you're not going to get the Infinity Watch, if you're far away from Adam Warlock, if you're free to play and you don't think you're going to get stars on the other two new characters, I still think it could make sense to use Gamora and Nebula as a duo if you're, for example, a newer player. I mean, think if you're a new player, just unlocked Kestrel, and then you could take these two characters that you could easily farm, and they might actually be pretty decent as a pair. Now, I don't know for sure, but I will just say these are now viable choices for, let's say, the Cosmic campaign or something like that in a way that they weren't before. So I think, it may end up being, I spent a lot of time helping new players and coming up with new player team infographics and stuff. So I suspect that this is something that's going to be tested a lot when the reworks go live. Black Bolt, easy choice for trending up. And, here's the thing. Black Bolt was a character who just a couple months ago I was like, man, this is a character really kind of in the downswing because he's a very stat-based character, always was the highest damage. And, now that you've got these other characters that are coming out like Kestrel and Silver Surfer and others that also are super high damage and have other things built into their kit, it's like, well, what's so special about Black Bolt? And here you go, preventing revives. And that's such a key thing right now with Heroes for Hire and Alliance War. Everybody is using their Black Bolt to counter Heroes for Hire. We don't have a good hard counter yet, so people are using him and YoYo. And you know what? We have a similar revive mechanic on Infinity Watch. So I really think Black Bolt's going to have uses. He's, that, and it's going to be, even though his damage is no longer super absurd like it used to be, he's still useful for preventing revives and doing that even out of turn with his burp. So I think he's useful. And YoYo also, she's the best character to pair with Black Bolt, and she's farmable now. For a lot of players, they were trying to get by with a 3 or 4 star YoYo. She wasn't performing well, wasn't landing her offense down. I will tell you, as somebody who owns a 7-star YoYo, 5 red, 7-star 5 red G14, she is a character that is very useful. I've run her with the Dad Bros sometimes because she is the second fastest character in the game, and she gets lots of crits as a raider. I do run her solo with Black Bolt on Alliance War now to counter Heroes for Hire. So she's definitely becoming useful. And by the way, she is useful in the global nodes on the Alpha raid. She could be useful in bio. If one of your symbiotes go down, you just throw in YoYo with the other symbiote. So very, very useful character. Now, trending down Black Order, I mean, we've already known. I mean, I think every month that I've done Stock Watch, this is, I think, maybe the fourth month now, I've talked about the end of Black Order. The first one, it was controversial. When I said that, not so controversial anymore, but man, Infinity Watch is built to hard counter Black Order. So we have yet another team out there hard countering Black Order, in addition to, characters like Silver Surfer that do so. So, what I think is just, even in Alliance War now, Black Order, if you were thinking of throwing your Black Order on defense because you don't need it on offense, there's just going to be more and more counters to Black Order, even in Alliance War. X-Force, I've got to say, I keep hearing from people who are having success with X-Force against 300K and 400K teams. And I will just tell you, in high-end war and diamond level and top 20 and that sort of thing, X-Force is really becoming kind of a fringe team. It's a team you use when there's a lower meta defense or kind of a haphazard defense that is easy to beat. It's useful in certain circumstances, but it just does not scale as well as the teams that it was used against when the teams are smaller. In other words, Marauders outscales it, Mercs outscale it, Sinister Six outscale it. So it just doesn't, it's not reliable at high levels. This has really been a team that has been trending down for months, but it's getting to the point now where it's really so fringe that there are wars that go by where it's not used, or it's starting to get a little bit hybridized. You throw in Hela and that sort of thing. Ultron, another trending down. I had to squeeze, Punk had to squeeze stuff into the infographic just to fit in Ultron, because I had a lot of things to say here, more text than usual. And I'll just say, I had Ultron as a trending up. I expected him to be trending up because they said he's getting red stars. And then what did the devs do? They cap him at 3 red stars. So one of my alliance mates went through all the trouble of getting Ultron up to 3 stars, and he discovered that it didn't really make a difference. Ultron wasn't really any better in raids or war or anything. Really wasn't able to do anything he couldn't do before with the 3 red stars. Very disappointing. And by the way, he had to blow a lot of orbs to get him to 3 red stars, because the devs have this silly system where they basically want you to use your red star orbs when there isn't a new character boosted, so you waste them to get these dark promotion credits. Just a silly system I'd opt out of, but very disappointing. Ultron right now, not really all that important. You could throw him in a team with Kestrel, for example, and he's useful for that. That was another reason why I thought he was going to be trending up, but Kestrel's needed against Heroes for Hire. He's not on that team because Heroes for Hire is really anti-summon, and this Red Stars didn't work out. All right, new characters team. So first of all, Infinity Watch. Now, when I made this infographic, we only had 3 members revealed. I know now we have a 4th with Moondragon, but she doesn't change this analysis. The bottom line is, whether you're looking at the first 3 or the first 4, the team looks overpowered. It could very well be designed to be the new arena meta. Now, when I say designed, what I mean is that's what the devs intend. They get things wrong all the time, but it just looks to me like they're trying to make this the new arena meta. Whether they succeed or not, I don't know. They certainly have multiple characters that look like they will be good outside of the team. I think Moondragon does. I think Adam Warlock does. But look, this is a team that you're definitely going to have to consider investing in if you can. And they purposely set super high requirements here, right? You have Adam Warlock as the 2nd legendary to require another legendary. And before, when you had Maw, at least it was all one team. It was the Inhumans. Now it's Jubilee without even her team. So you kind of have to build up X Factor and X-Men really to get the value there. And you need all that ISO. So very sky-high requirements, which makes me think that they're going to have really strong stats for Adam Warlock and that this team's going to be special. And as I point out, even outside of the team, Adam Warlock looks like a top character. But I am not convinced that he's at Kestrel, Doom, Silver Surfer level. And whether he is depends on his stats, and we just don't know. So if his stats are completely absurd, the Kestrel, Doom, Silver Surfer stats are pretty absurd. If he's absurd level stats, then he very well could be at that level. Right now, I'm reserving judgment. I take everything the devs say with a grain of salt because they get things wrong and can mislead us at times. All right, investment advice. So this has changed a little bit because now Silver Surfer has entered the promo store. Remember, some characters like Kestrel are not in the promo store to promo. So you may ask me, I mean, I know I'm going to get comments below. What about Kestrel on the Red Stars? She's not there yet. So use your gold promos on Silver Surfer only and then just save the rest. Because you've got Kestrel that's coming soon, Adam Warlock coming soon. It may end up being that there's other members of the team that you're going to want to promote. We don't know yet till we see the full team and the stats and the kits in the game. But I wouldn't use my gold promos on anyone but Surfer. And by the way, not use the promos for any stars that you don't already have yellow stars for. So, for example, I have a 6 yellow star Silver Surfer, so I promoted him to 6 reds, and then I stopped. All right. Now, for silver promos, and I know a lot of people don't even have these characters to 5 red stars, here's the list of the top 10. So, Silver Surfer, Long Shot, these are, still, so basically Long Shot gets moved down because of Silver Surfer. Baron Zemo, these are characters you're using in all game modes, right? Silver Surfer's Arena, Raid, War, super important. Long Shot, he's using Arena, Raid, War, everywhere, right? Same thing with Baron Zemo, everywhere. I mean, these characters are constantly used. Now, then there's a real drop in tier after Zemo. I mean, I'd say there's a drop in tier after Surfer, who I'm saying you can use gold on. Then after Longshot and Baron Zemo, then you're getting to characters that are more niche. White Tiger is basically war offense only. Bishop is really a raid character. I don't really see him as a character you're going to want to use in Arena at this point because he needs Beast and Jubilee to work well. Also good in Alliance War. Shatterstar is really conditional on running Longshot for the most part. And then we're getting, I'd say that's a drop in tier then to Gamora, Hela, Symbiote, Spider-Man, Night Nurse. Gamora is a character, we don't know quite how good she's going to be yet. She looks really good. The stats are really good. The huge stat boost. I went over that recently. But we just don't know quite how good the team is going to be. But even on paper, she looks like a character. I would probably try to get her up to, 4 or 5 reds if you've got these silver promos, okay? But certainly hold off on the gold promos till we see the team and, decide where do you want your gold promos to go on the Infinity Watch team. I would wait to see a lot of play testing before I invest in gold promos, which are so incredibly rare in this game. All right, so looking forward. Number one thing changes, okay, which is farm ISO and bring characters to ISO 5 for Doom Raid and to unlock Adam Warlock. Now, I know a lot of us have complained. I've been one of them. I was very blunt to the devs about how BS I think this was. But they're not going to, whether they listen to me, I don't know. I have got they've heard my comments or whatever, but they haven't given me any positive indication that makes me think, yes, this is going to change. It may. I have to tell you, I think if they implement it, it's going to be a huge mistake and hurt the game. But, they do stupid things all the time. So, I would be planning, unless you're planning to quit, I'd start working on ISO. And there are ways. I do have a video I'll have out soon about what to pick and choose for Doom Raid. I have discussed it before in terms of what characters are needed and how to jigger your alliance around so you have certain players in your alliance specialize in mutant or bio or whatever to get through it. But it's going to be a pain, so I would start working on ISO. Plus, you're going to want it for blue ISO anyway. You need ISO 5 to get to blue ISO, so you might as well start farming ISO. If you aren't already. And then build your roster to farm the Doom Raid for Blue ISO and Silver Surfer shards. Obviously, you already want those shards. And then Blue ISO is coming, I think, maybe the next patch. I don't know exactly when they're going to be introducing that, but it sounds like it from the data mines. It will be next patch, or that's their plan. And so given that, that tells me start getting ready to farm Doom Raid. If your alliance is still in U7.5, it's time to start looking ahead and building your roster and getting ready for Doom Raid because, you're going to want to, keep developing your characters, keep getting those Silver Surfer shards. And then, look, I think everyone should be thinking about Infinity Watch. And it's going to change your plans, your farming plans, your building plans. This team looks really good. And so what that means is if you're one of those people who thought I was crazy on X Factor and haven't been building up your X Factor, now's the time to start thinking about X Factor. Now that they're becoming farmable, right? We got long shots of the War Store and so forth. I mean, it's time to start thinking about maybe you want to use your war credits there. And then for Gamora and Nebula, if you have the spare gear, bringing them to gear tier 12, getting up their level a little bit, it makes some sense to me. They're going to be a lot better, and that team could be great. Certainly, if you're unlocking Adam Warlock, I think you're going to be wanting to build up them so that they can go with him on the full team. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful to you. The goal here is to help you think about how you're investing in the game, and this comes out every month. The infographic is linked below, and then I always have, if you're watching this in a later month, I always have the newest infographic on my Discord server. That's linked below. And so please, if you like this infographic, if you like the work we're doing in this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, go to our Discord servers, leave your comments, give your suggestions if you disagree with some of this. And hey, check out my Twitch stream as well. We have lots of great discussions there too. That's also linked below.